What it do? What's the deal? What's good, y'all? This is Shane Kidd, holding it down for conscious creatives, mindful living, and meaningful work. And so, I wanted to do a solo video and let y'all know I had one more thing that I wanted to take into 2022 that I really wanted to talk to you about with just sharing with the public. And so the other thing I wanted to take in there is just one, being able to, take a chance, be able to, when taking those chances, to focus on, hoping for the best. And I think, especially in the times that we're in, it's easy to be very critical, to be slightly a little cynical at times when it comes to people, but allowing ourselves to lead in a space where we're, trying to cultivate more trust and less suspicion. I know for some of us that can be a little bit harder, just knowing like our personal history with just life and how people may have broken that trust in your life. But I would definitely encourage you to consider what are some spaces that you can begin to cultivate a sense of hopefulness and begin to think in that way, and just also recognizing that in that aspect that may have to deal with another cognitive distortion, which cognitive distortions are things where we allow ourselves to impair our thinking, cognitive being with the mind, distortions being, representing impairment. And one of those cognitive distortions that we can begin to tell ourselves is fortune telling, or it's a fortune telling error. We think that we can predict the future and we anticipate things will turn out badly, and you begin to convince yourself that that prediction is an established fact. And when we begin to, interpret life in that way, we do a disservice to ourselves and missing out on opportunities that can be very life-giving, very thriving, and pretty much give us a fulfillment to our lives in the things that we desire to see. Another one that's similar to that when it comes to just like that jumping into conclusions that we don't have all the facts for is mind reading. And so, we randomly conclude, how someone is going to react when we assume that it's going to be a negative reaction without even trying to verify those things. And so, being able to give people the opportunity to respond, give an opportunity for those events to happen, and recognize that, it's easy for us to think about what is going to go wrong, what can be the worst case scenario, but also think about the best case scenario. What is it going to be like if those things begin to work out, those things begin to pan out in the way that you plan, and instead of it being a disaster, but it turns out to be something very amazing for you. And recognize those things. And yes, bad things can happen, and you can think about even the worst case scenario, but think about that from this perspective. It's like, even if you do think of the worst case scenario, ask yourself this question. It's like, what is that worst case scenario? And will I be able to survive that? And how will I manage myself to be able to survive that? Because those things are very important. How are you going to build yourself back up into a space of rebuilding confidence and who you are and the things that you desire? Because that is very important to being able to live a very authentic and full life for yourself. And so I'm definitely wishing y'all the best in 2022, and that you're able to fully thrive, and that you take a chance in new opportunities and new experiences. And as I mentioned, I know for some of y'all, it's going to be harder just recognizing, like, some of us have gone through adverse times and have had very adverse experiences in ways that we would prefer not to ever repeat again. And that is very valid. That is very true. And because of that, you may have to take your time in being able to slowly build yourself back up into being in a space of willing to take new chances and new experiences, because you need to be able to see people, events, and other things in a new light to be able to restore that sense of hope for you. And so, to those of you that are like that, that are facing those challenges, I encourage you to take your time to be able to slow down your life and recognize that your pace is the pace that you need to go at to be able to begin to rebuild and restore the things that you want to see in your life. And definitely, I always just encouraging, pursue a therapist, pursue counseling, and begin to build that close circle of friendships that can help you begin to give that support of restored trust in yourself, the world, and others. So that is all I have for y'all today. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch y'all next time. Learn, love, and live. Peace, y'all.